we have some people that don't really understand executive session. And while he's up, I would like for Mr. Winkler to explain to the public what an executive session is. Mr. Winkler.
This was a statement dated December 7th, 2023. Director Barry H. Smith, Smith County Board of Education, pleased that the Board agreed with the Board of Education an Open Meetings Act violation likely occurred, providing parents, taxpayers, Board of Education employees opportunity to know facts and ramifications of what was being done behind closed doors. Granting of an injunction preventing the county from moving forward with the new taxpayer-funded position of finance director is the first step to allow voters and taxpayers to have input on this important decision. This injunction would also give the commissioners the opportunity to do the right thing and present this issue to the taxpayers and voters by referendum as allowed by law and city county government enforcement upon the citizens. This was stated and released, as I said, December 7th, 2023. An executive session which can be utilized by any governmental body is exclusive for the purpose to discuss pending or threatening litigation. That's the purpose for it. Those are oftentimes used when necessary. No decisions or deliberations are made, but those are only for the fact that there is a pending and most important for this body and others, threatening litigation. It came out of a case from this board many, many years ago and was recognized by the Supreme Court and is certainly allowable and utilized only when necessary and sparingly. This body also many times will have to clear the room when there are any issues associated with a minor. So the school board is a bit different in that regard. If there's an issue with the minor, then that also is not open to the public. But as part of the executive session, that's the sole purpose for them. And again, it is simply for that purpose, for this body to ask an attorney or their attorneys any questions that they have and to learn the status of any pending and or threatened litigation.
Thank you, Mr. Winkler. One other thing I have on my mind, I guess you can say I'm on a roll tonight or whatever you want to call it, but we've had a whole lot of people have expressed their opinions in public and on social media that are not true, just not true, especially regarding my family. I don't appreciate it because, again, they're not true. I know a lot of them have been aimed towards my daughter, which she works for the Board of Education. She's been working here several years in the system. In fact, she was a principal at one of the county schools at one time, and the director brought her in. She wasn't doing her job, and I think he got pretty rough on her. In fact, she come home crying over it. Second of all, he moved her out of that position, and took a pretty good pay drop. She was moved to the Carthage Elementary as a literacy leader. A couple of years ago, she got the job, countywide literacy leader came open, and the best I can understand was nobody applied for the job, and she took the job. Again, still no ways what she was making when she was a principal. She does not work at the BOE offices. She works at the alternative school. She has an office there. Now, a lot of people say that Barry Smith has done favors for me because of who I am on the board. And everything I've told you tonight is the truth. And if you think he has done favors for me, he has not. He has done for her what she deserved. Now, I'm tired of listening to things that people are saying. I know that the old saying is, if you are in a public office, you put yourself out there to the public. That is true. But you come after me, you don't come after my family. Again, there has been several people on social media, and when you put it on there, it don't go away. And stuff that comes after me, if you don't stop it, I'll have Mr. Winkler stop it for me. Now, any other board member would like to address this, you're perfectly welcome, because I think this has been long overdue.
Yes, sir, I will. And I think if the board recalls, several months ago, I addressed some things that were being placed on social media. And I just said, I kind of am getting a little bit discouraged in that the board seems to be taking the brunt of some of these things. And at some point in time, I feel like we need to address it. And then probably about 3 months ago, I think I spoke in front of the board here and spoke to Mr. Winkler about the possibility of sending out some letters to people posting things on social media that are false, and it continues forward. So as far as my part, they'll post this stuff and they put it down, and it leaves the public, because we're hamstrung here, as Mr. Winkler can vouch for, about a lot of things that we can say or can't say. We're hamstrung. We're sitting over here hostages, and all this stuff's getting posted that some employee's done something and we haven't done anything, or some child has suffered and we haven't done anything, when they have no idea what we've had to discuss in executive session with Mr. Winkler. So as far as I'm concerned, here's how I feel. If you're going to put it on social media and you think we violated the law, then that's what you make a courtroom for. I've spent my whole adult life in one. It don't bother me a bit to go to one. I don't know of anything we've done wrong, but some of it's getting pretty slanderous. And, everybody has their feelings around the table, and I'm not asking whatever, but I'm just saying, about to have my fill some of it. And, some of it gets put up and it gets taken down, but that's all right, because that gets retained. I can assure you I have it, and I'm sick of it. If you got something to say as a courtroom, let's go say it.
Anyone else got anything they want to say? If not, we're going to go into consent items. I hope you've all had a chance to look at your packet. Board minutes, a request from Gordonsville Smith County High School and School Support Organization at Smith County High School. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussions? Anything you want to pull? If not, Mr. Jones,
Yes.
Mr. Apple,
Yes.
Mr. McCaleb,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
Mr. Manning,
Yes.
Mr. Glover,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Superintendent's actions. I guess that would fall under some things that you want to discuss. Is that correct?
When you get done on that vote, I'd like to.
Yeah. we're- You got it all? Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Glover had asked me last to check on water filters. We're in the process of ordering those. We're trying to see, I think there's one that was matching up the same kind we had was the thing, the prices, but hopefully we'll get those ordered, and we've got a plan, PO, I think done full. We'll try to get those installed. That way every school, including the central office, will have one. Kitchen updates. Joe, you just happened to be up here on a really good cause. We delivered, what, eight new bicycles to every elementary school?
Yes.
So there'll be some happy boys and girls, and you might want to tell those people that donated that's a wonderful thing they're doing. Because they were nice bikes too.
Oh, yeah, they were real nice
Yeah.
bikes. And there was,
They'd be,
delivered about 30, didn't we, in all?
well, you had 8, so no, more than that, you had 8 at 5, about 40, wasn't it, I guess?
Yeah, probably about 40.
Yeah, they were nice too. I mean, and I don't know who all those people were. I don't want to leave anybody out. So if you know who they are, maybe
I don't
the
know.
organization, but we need to get. They did I mean, they were beautiful. I think Eddie, they sent.
You can read it in the paper. They ought to be able to read it in the paper.
Yeah, do what?
They'll read it in the paper.
Yeah, it'll be in the paper.
Yeah.
But that's very nice of those people to do that, and nice of you taking the time to do that, but during that time, I asked you to go ahead and see the renovations at Curtis Elementary School. They're super excited. I think we're missing one breaker. My understanding, they think it'll be in this week, before Friday. I think it was on a ship or something, so they narrowed it down to about Louisiana, but Stephanie tells us that they'll be in it, even if it comes in, we're gonna, so close, we're gonna wait and open it, start the year, first year. But it's sharp, ain't it? All new, not even counting the plumbing. There's been nothing done to that school since it was built. And that's a very nice, and that was pretty much free to the taxpayers. It was on a grant, and, we really got our money's worth up there. I don't know how they done what they done. It's all stainless steel.
All stainless
All new
steel.
floor and drop ceiling, and it's actually pre-wired and pre-plumbed to update utilities. If she needs more updated stuff, we can keep adding to that kitchen. So that kitchen will probably outlast the school. So it really looks nice. If you noticed, I just wanna make sure these ladies have spent a lot of time on this. We've redone our floors out here, and I hope you take a look at the floors out there, and the trim. But what their theme for Christmas, and, they put a lot of pride, and it shows the family atmosphere here, but also we kinda led into something else, that we've decided to have an open house, Tuesday when school gets out. We would love for you, Eddie, I'd like to take in the paper for our parents, kids, students, teachers. I think Santa Claus is gonna be here. Bonnie's gonna take pictures, and I think that's correct. They talked, and I wanna tell you something, Matt. Bonnie's supposed to take pictures, and then we're gonna be able to email those for free to families. So we'll have some treats and some, drinks and food here, so we'd love for you to, thank these ladies. They've sure put a lot of time in it. It looks great. The atmosphere here's unreal, but, I just wanna say those few things. If you've got any questions about the renovations, or if you'd like to go see it this week before it opens, let me know, and I'll be happy to meet with you and run you up there and go through it. Yes, sir.
I just got one question, but it's not related to that, but it kind of made me think about it. Our school study,
What?
the study
Okay.
about, could you bring us up to speed on that? And, we had the mayor here
He's
from
been
Lawrenceville.
meeting, he's probably met with Tim and Angel more hours than anybody. I met, and then he's got pieces from I think he's like in one department in the county, getting some numbers, but he said that was one crucial when he gets that. He's real close to getting it put together. I have no idea. I told him I didn't want to have any influence on it. I don't know where it's gonna go. He thinks he'll have it ready right after Christmas. If not, it would be short after the first year. They put a lot of time and a lot of hours in that. So we hope to have a good direction of what they're gonna say.
Thank you. That just still bothers me a lot after the mayor from Lawrenceville came. It's just hypercritical.
The what?
It's just hypercritical the way we're growing. It just still kind of worries me some. I appreciate it.
He'll show that, but one of the things he showed on the flow chart, he had actually took and bubbled where the house, it's pretty, really interesting to show the drop during COVID and how it's rebounded back with kids coming back from homeschool, and it's actually showing where the growth and what ages, where they're at, not even counting the new housing coming in. But all that is very well laid out on a graph. I think it'd be they've really been pretty impressive at this point. And they're taking in everything. They're taking in industry, housing permits. They hope to get the 911 addresses so they can get really, in depth where it's at. But it'll be very accurate, we hope.
Good. Thank you.
Anybody else? Smith, you got anything else?
Good.
Okay, you're good. Okay, let's go on to, new business. TSBA policy recommendation. You all had a chance to read that. I could read it for you, but I know it's several pages. To have a motion on it?
Yes, sir.
Second? Second. Discussions? Not, roll call, Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. Michaela?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. bid approvals for greenhouse. Any have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Discussion.
Yes.
You go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Whereabouts is this greenhouse gonna be setting, Mr. Smith?
This particular one is sitting right down here at the base, you know, when you go over the hill, and there's a grassy spot right in there, flat, right behind the building right there.
Okay.
If you'll notice, it's done staked out. I think, Tim, did they run the gas line? I noticed the gas line's already run down there, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I noticed they're getting the poles and stuff.
For the use of Smith County Middle, Smith County High
Well,
School,
this will be
countywide?
for, hopefully, when we bus the other students in, correct, Tim, on, when we do bring the kids in on the whole overall package, but it will be used for Smith County Middle. But we're hoping to get other schools in the county involved as this mechatronics thing grows and get them to be coming here on different days. Am I telling that correctly? What's your plan?
the greenhouse, we hired an agriculture teacher at the middle school this year that I asked him. The greenhouse will primarily be.
But I do want to say this,
Capability to use.
I think him and Shane gets aggravated. I'll stay on, we're gonna try to get us one at Gordonsville. I won't want it, I won't want it, I'd love to have one at Gordonsville too. We don't have a greenhouse there right now.
Is this mostly gonna be used for fundraising, or what's it gonna be used?
No, it'll be used for actual part of the coursework of the ag teacher. I'm not saying they won't, they may do some fundraising with it, but that won't be the purpose of it at all.
It'll be used for instruction, classroom instruction. The nice thing with the greenhouse though is you can easily do that at the same time.
And it might even do it for some different organizations even to make, you know.
I don't think it was. So this is covered by grant money.
100%, another good deal for grant money. Tim, what was the
I knew
actual
it.
grant dollars on that?
Total,
Yeah,
3.2 million.
no, not, that's not, but just that section.
Just for the
Overall was 3.2 million, but what,
Smith County Middle School,
500,000, it's such a pretty nice deal.
When y'all gonna, if it passes, when would construction start?
well, if y'all approve it, I'll contact them tomorrow, give them a letter, and as soon as they can turn around and, we started on the site prep, we had to have the concrete poured and, utilities there before they would construct it, but we're on pace to have that.
I do, real quick, I didn't add that, Mr. Shoulders, but we actually started, footer work at Gordonsville on one of our buildings, and I think, my understanding, they're gonna go, stay pretty much in sequence, you know, they'll move from foundation to foundation and concrete to concrete at both places, but they've got it, if you've been through there, you've seen the paving, the new paving, it's really changed the flow of traffic in a good way at Gordonsville. It's getting all that traffic off the road over there, and getting them curled around the building. I think the city over there, my understanding, is much happier. I haven't heard that from him. I was talking to Mr. Baden. He said the first day, he got the first set of cars out at 309, which we've never done that. But we're hoping you'll see a lot of progress in the buildings here in the next 90 days.
And again, this was bid out, and Atlas Greenhouse is the one that got the bid on it. Any more questions? Roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Item C, a selection to comply with school board legislation involvement policy 1.105, the board shall annually select one of its members to serve as a legislative liaison. Discussions. Motion to do it.
Make a motion to elect a legislative involvement person from the school board.
Second?
Second.
Any discussions?
Anyone volunteer?
That's what I was fixing to come back to. We gotta have somebody to do it.
I don't mind doing it if that's something y'all want me to do, or y'all, I try to stay involved and educated on a lot of the legislation, so I wouldn't mind doing it if y'all are okay with that.
I don't have a problem with, someone like to make a motion.
I'll make a motion that we nominate Mr. Glover.
Second.
Second.
And I'd also like to add, also, not to this motion, but also keep in mind, we'll need to budget. It also requires in the law that we have to budget money for travels and stuff, because there's some things this person.
Probably be some overnight, I would think.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
some meetings in, I believe Nashville and such that I would have to go
We'll have
to.
Put in our budget.
Yeah, it'll be for next year, won't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
I ain't gonna call it a convention, but the meeting had already happened. It happened in November of this year. Well, I have to make sure we put some money in the budget for this.
At least $100.
At least 100,000 maybe. Just joking.
Okay. Any more discussion on it? And I will say Mr. Glover will be a good person for that, to represent us. Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Mr. Apple.
Yes.
Mr. McCaleb.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mr. Manning.
Yes.
Mr. Glover.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, item D. That is the approval to get architects for renovation of the Save-A-Lot building to renovate and get ready to utilize that property for the school. Do I have a motion on it?
Yes, sir.
Second.
Discussions?
When are we looking to get started on renovations?
I think we could probably get started right after the first year, if we can get the bids out and get, right now, we're having a hard time getting, to be honest with you, getting bids and contractors, But it's gonna take a while for me to get the drawings and get the recommendations back once we hire a firm.
When could we be in, like, I know we already have teachers for some of these positions and they're recruiting. When are we gonna be able to utilize this building? Is it gonna be next year or?
I don't
We know.
think it's realistic to be, we would love to be in it, next year, we'd love to start some stuff next year. But as y'all know, on construction, just getting somebody to do it with the money's there. We've got the money, it was free, like I said, 3.2 million, which is fantastic for the county. But just the biggest thing is the construction and getting it underway. That's really, it's hard to predict. I think we're gonna be able to find the people easier than we're going to do the build, especially with the raising and stuff. We've had a lot of interest in the actual positions, but, and that, there's gonna be a lot of organization going at, we need to work with the industry. We need to look at the dashboard, what's up and coming. And then we need to look at the 2 to 4 programs that we really think that we needs the best for the county, whether it be preparing people to go to work at Dana, or it be to work, personally, it's a favorite, close to me, I'd love to see us do a really good construction. We looked at some stuff up at Sparta was doing and McMinnville. Originally we talked about just heavy equipment, and we saw, we're not saying this is the exact way to go, but Sparta has a permanent foundation that they build a house on, and it's was it 1,200 or 1,800 square foot? 1,200 square foot, and you could do 6 weeks of wiring or 6 weeks of plumbing. You could do your dirt work on your foundation. Pretty cool. All the way through, and then at the end, there's not many things you can end up selling your project at the end, either getting your money back or making money for the next year. So there's a lot of different, that's only one a minute we'd love to do, or nursing so that we could turn around. You know, one thing that we loved that Sparta done, instead of changing the whole field of just a vocational school, they had their upper level, was it calculus and, physics in that building. So you had from the very top end in that building construction, you gave a whole different feel for what was going on. It was like a big college, wasn't it? But I know it's a long answer, but we hope,
Yeah.
we would love to start integrating next year and we'd love to say we'd have it up and going. But we just don't know time these bids and stuff get out. And the money, what's the timeline on it? Tell him, Norma, to get the money spent. Is it,
It's a 4-year grant. We are currently in year 2.
so we're gonna have to roll on it. That sounds like a lot of time, but you're done 2 years in. So we're gonna try to roll on it if we can get the bids, and get everything approved. I don't know how long the drawings, I'd say you're looking at a couple, 3 months to get the drawings.
And all this is paid for by grant money, correct?
3.2 million.
What if we run out of time?
The what?
What if we run out of time?
Well, we won't.
Yeah, that's what-
Yeah, but we'd lose it, but,
Yeah.
and that's not, that 3.2, even though the funding of what we've got planned ties together, but that 3.2 has nothing to do with the other 5 million that we got for these other two, wellness centers we're building.
It's safe to say by year after next school year, we should be.
We ought to be wide open by then, barring, what, a coat or something crazy we really wanna talk
Yeah.
about. But we would love to have part of it up and going by next year. I don't know how realistic, at least busing these junior highs and stuff ain't over here, we might can get, that's where, call it the wheel, where we're trying to get that to fund. When we do that and we get these kids CTE certified, that's where we were ahead of a lot of, I think, people around us. We got the extra 1.2 million roughly on having CTE students. We got $5 million over what we got last year. And I know I talked to 2 counties that touch us, didn't get any extra money. And we had a really good feel going in, didn't we, Norma, and Tim and Angel, what we were trying to do. And this right here, we're gonna have to go back and look at credits. Right now, we're at 24. If we move athletics after school, I know I had a -1 from a coach. As a matter of fact, they're probably gonna have more room and get out quicker, have a better practice facility. But it's gonna increase us from having a possible 24 to a possible 32 credits they could get. Well, with that, if we increase, say from 24 to grad, just a suggestion, I'm not giving a number yet, but just say we go from 24 to 28, I know what I would do. I'm not gonna take calculus, I'm gonna take something. You could be college bound and still have a metal certificate or a construction certificate when you graduate Smith County Gorman High School. We looked at one of the schools down there, they were getting kids out. I believe it was the first, after summer, they were putting kids in maintenance for $120,000 to $140,000 a year. Be pretty good to be a 18, 19-year-old young man or lady doing that and staying in the county.
That's what I'd like to see, like, these kids that want to go to college for engineering. I'd like to see them graduate high school with a welding degree and be prepared to go to college for
And
that
it's gonna be very
engineering.
doable and still be a basketball player.
Correct. That's
or
what I want to
softball.
see.
And, but, the mechatronics part of it, we're probably getting, what we say, roughly 5 from each school, looks like a scholarship. 5 from Gornsville, 5 from Smith County, however, because you're not gonna be able to fill that up. And that's where we actually need a panel made up of not only board members, but probably some business people that understand the community, that we put these right people on that, and it's non-biased. It's gonna be an absolutely fantastic thing. It's something we wanted to do and it was a godsend when we got the grant for it. You know what? That's one reason we saved money was to do this, because we thought it would be so good. But then we come along and Tim done a fantastic job and got 3.2 million and it allowed us to buy these at no cost. And then if you understand how it works, the other buildings are gonna relieve. So we put sports after school, which is gonna increase our funding exponentially, crazy good.
Anything else? Now it's time for roll call. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McCallum?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Okay, we're gonna pull item E. There was some, language on that. It's not exactly like it needs to be, and we're gonna pull that and vote on it next time. Bid approvals
On
on
that,
our
Mr.
crisis.
Shoulders, on
Pardon?
that particular item there, will we have a chance to discuss it at the next meeting?
What's that, when I pulled?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Can I
yeah.
say something to this? The
Yes,
reason we're put, it's not, Norma, I'd asked her, Mr. Shoulders had asked me, we affected roughly, don't hold me to, 87 students last year that was from, I think represented from every school in the county, and maybe even some kids that were homeschooled. And they were kids that typically are not involved, and I think he's actually even getting some scholarship, talking about he being Mr. J.R. Smith. If you saw that play, it looked like something you'd see at Broadway. And when we pulled it, the wording was actually of the adult play, and that's why it's not donating to that. It's donating, it wouldn't be any difference to us donating to improving the football field at Gornsville or putting a gym floor down at Spinkett High School, so we just wanted to make sure we had the wording correctly. After we looked at it, we had the wrong club, so to speak.
Yeah,
That's why we pulled it.
yeah, yeah, I was what I
It's
was,
not for adults, that's what you're saying, it's
Yeah.
for, or a community organization, it's for our children. And we just, I think Jamie advised me to say something like system-wide, you know, and we gotta change the language, ain't it?
okay,
Probably not fair to put it in there now, let the public know what it's actually for.
exactly, okay.
But it is gonna be done. It's just gotta be
Change-
reworded.
Yeah,
It's helping with supplies, Marty. You
I
said
agree, I agree, it need, yeah, I seen
Books
that.
and plays and themes.
And it's not to, as I had it today, person asked me, well, is he getting a raise? And I said, no, he's not getting a raise. It's to buy, like as Mr. Smith said, props. It's to get, material for clothing, different things like that, that they are doing. And it's been by the goodness of the community and teachers, principals, putting this together to help him, and he's been doing it more or less bare knuckle for the last little while.
That is not something that normally I would tell you I enjoy, that's just not, you know, that's one of the most phenomenal things. I would encourage you next year, or the next thing they have. It is unbelievable to see that many young men and women, and a lot of them that you'd see in a class that's shy, and them get up there. I mean, we've got some people, got some careers here. I think there'll be some scholarships out of this program. And, you know, you get one scholarship, what's it worth, you know?
That's right.
And like I say, this money will be put in his school account for him to buy things that he needs for this particular program. And he does this out of, you know, the goodness of his heart. So when you
Okay.
see him out, you need to shake his hand because he does an excellent job.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna go on to bid approvals for the crisis alert alarm system. You've all had a chance to look at that. It's a 3-year contract. Do I have a motion?
Can we,
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
You want-
I think they need to.
Let me get a
vote
motion,
first,
and then
right?
we'll get into discussion. How about a motion?
Motion to approve.
Mr. Glover? Second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor? Now we'll go into discussion.
so, earlier in the year, Mr. Smith was interested in, and I've got the representative here, Mr. Barry Carroll, in this alarms system that saves seconds if there's any kind of incident in schools. And Mr. Smith was like, well, do we have money for that? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'll look for some. So I'm proud to say that we have, been offered a grant from the COPS. It's a COPS grant from the Justice Department. There was only 13 entities in the state of Tennessee that received this grant. We've actually had other school systems calling here asking, how did we get the grant when they didn't? So I'm very pleased to present you with this grant money of $237,862. There is a 25% match if we do vote it in, and that's the part that the board is paying, the GP part. Actually, it's just a little bit over, but it's gonna purchase everything that it's gonna cost us to get this up and running for the next 3 years.
And let me say this, my whole career, I've looked at safety stuff, and and this is probably the best product that I've ever seen. And, you know, I don't, you know, I respect you, Barry, but you're, you know, I don't trust nobody. I don't. I mean, I looked it up, and the reviews on YouTube and Facebook of just individual people, lives saved was unbelievable when I looked at it. And it's a great product. We looked at other stuff. And I want you to, again, to give a quick overview when we get there, but Norma needs to understand, not 14 counties, that's 14 entities in the state of Tennessee, which is probably hundreds of people. And again, I think it's our ability to understand the language in grants and why that we're getting stuff. That was phenomenal, and it was a great thing to get that in our county. Yeah, we couldn't believe we got it, $240,000 or whatever, and, you know, to have that at that little cost, we were putting much more than that in SROs every year. You know, now with the new grant there, has relieved us, so we're actually gonna be to the good netting off of that if the board chooses to net that cost. But it's the best safety product that I've seen, and there may be something better out there, but I hadn't found it.
Yeah.
You
Anybody got any
have
questions?
And Barry, they can ask you again how it works and quick overview, and I had some questions about how it integrated into the intercom systems and, you know, those type of things.
Well, I am Barry Carroll, and I represent a partner with a company called Centegix. So you hear that, Centegix is the company, Prices Service the product. The product is a badge system. You may recall, I first met with Mr. Smith a few months ago, and then I met with the administrators and came to a board meeting and presented. I hope you remember. But we work off of a badge system. All the employees will wear a badge, and it has two types of alerts. There's a staff alert, which you push it 3 times, that if you have a situation where maybe a student's ill, maybe there's an altercation, or any kind of situation where an employee needs help, then they can push that button 3 times, and the response team at that school will respond to that.
When you say response team, the one at this school might be a little different than one, that's who they put on that response team.
Whoever they pick at that school to be on the response team. It's generally the principal, assistant principal,
Nurse.
SRO, nurse, those types of individuals who would be on the response team. And they will get, on their phone, an alert, and on their computer, an alert, telling them exactly who pushed the button and what location that person. So this badge, this system works. If they're in their classroom, it works. It identifies Miss Smith in her classroom. But if she's not in her classroom, she may be on the playground, she may be in the cafeteria, she may be in the gym, she may be in the parking lot. If the individual pushes the button, then the response team knows to go to that spot to help that person. That's the first alert. Second alert, heaven forbid we ever have this, but we all know that it's happening across the country. If we have an active shooter, if we have a situation like that in the building, or a suspected gun or whatever it might be, that the school needs to be locked down, then they push the button. When we do the training, we don't say it's 8 times, but it's actually 8 times. We just tell them to keep pushing, because you know when you get into that situation where sometimes some people may tend to panic, they don't want to have to count to 8. Just keep pushing it and pushing it. And then when it goes into lockdown, if you may recall seeing the videos on that, there's several things that happen. We have strobes that go off that are color-coded, and those go off. We take over the intercoms and have a message that says lockdown, lockdown, go to your safe space. We also take over computers. And so all of that it's pretty high-tech stuff.
But did it actually go to, I know you said computer, and I think you addressed this before, but if I sign up, or does it actually go to my phone? Like, if I wanted to, if I'm a teacher, would it be an option to be on my phone, to be, or the?
To be a responder?
Yeah.
No, that's just the response team gets it on their app. Teachers don't get that.
But the response team would be on
The
that.
response team
Okay.
gets it. and they
Yeah, I'd know where that-
You as superintendent, if you want to get those, and you will, you and your team here at the central office,
Yes.
will want to know if there's a lockdown going on in the school. We can also coordinate with your county sheriff's department so that they get the alerts as well and know exactly where the situation's taking place. A lot of this technology came out of the mistakes that were made at Parkland, Florida, and it just continues to progress. But it's a great product. Quick side note, funny
story. We had it in Madison City Schools, Alabama, just outside of Huntsville, if you know where that is. I'd already gone to bed. It was like 4:10. And my phone rings and it was Ed Nichols. And I thought, what's it mean or what's going on? And I answered the phone. He said, oh, you weren't in bed, but I just want to tell you, we had 2 situations this week with students who had censures. And we had people get to them on the spot, giving them medical treatment within 20 seconds. And he said, I was also sitting in a principal's office today, and the alert went off, and he and I went to the situation. There was an altercation, and we were able to break it up or able to prevent it from happening. He said, that's okay. This technology is amazing. So, and he said, that's all I wanted. I hope you weren't asleep. You know, it's kind of funny that he would call me, and I was really surprised with that. That he's the superintendent there in Madison City. We sell to large districts, small districts. We're in, I think I've told you this before, we're in Hillsborough County, Florida. We're in Palm Beach, Florida. We're in Clark County, Nevada. They have almost 400 students. You can imagine we're in their district. Schools from all sizes. So, you know, we can come in, and what we have is, I've already mentioned this to Ms. Mitchell and your technologist. Some of the first steps that we will take is setting up a call with our tech team in Atlanta. We're based in Atlanta. Our tech team with your staff here to make sure that we're coordinating everything. And it's pretty seamless. It generally takes, you know, once the PO is signed, they send in and they get it in Atlanta and they start ready to order equipment and everything. It takes about 90 to 120 days to get it installed. It's a process, but installation is not hard. That's not the part that's hard. Is ordering the equipment. We get renderings of all of your schools, your floor plans, so we can map that out so that when your response team gets the alert, it's a picture of where they are on your map of your school, where you're located. So it's a lot to it, but it's really simple. But on the back side, if you will, there's a lot going on, a lot of people doing things to make it happen. So I'll stop there, maybe that question.
I got a couple questions.
So this is for the Board of Ed, building the non-school and alternative.
I got a couple questions. You push this button, the panic, the 8 times or whatever. How does it interact? How does it get to the sheriff's office? Does it make a phone call? Do they have a computer screen that pops up and says, hey, this is where it's at, this is where they're going?
That's generally what they would be like a responder. Some choose to, you set the protocols, okay? You and the county sheriff's office set the protocols as to how they want to receive that. It can go directly to them, it can go to 911 dispatch, it can go, we have SROs on every campus. SRO will be on the response team and they can radio, they can call, whatever it takes. So you set the protocols on all of this. So there's several ways that can happen.
Okay. And another question, you said whenever the panic button goes off, the lights go off and all that, what if you got 400 or 500 people in a ball game? What's the protocol for that? I mean,
You set the protocol. We talk to you, we try to work with your team on best practices. I'm sure you already have something in place that if you're having a basketball game in the gym and something happens, as to how you evacuate or how you handle that situation, I'm sure it would be the same. We don't set that protocol.
Okay.
We just provide you with the opportunity to know it quickly. We say our whole purpose is notification, our whole purpose is saving time. As you know, especially in an active shooter situation, most of the tragedy happens in the first minute. And so getting someone to that situation quickly is really important.
and these announcements go through our intercoms and all that stuff, so, okay.
Now, that's on the, and I'm not gonna give a percentage, but I would say it's in the high 90s of generally staff alerts. Students sick in the classroom, have an altercation, teacher saw something that's going on. Teacher needs some help, or maybe it's a upset parent, a mad parent who's come in and he comes to the teacher, whatever that might be. And the teacher can just push that button and get help. So that's a high 90% of those. Active shooters, not as much, but they do a lot of drills as well.
And this will incorporates the entire campus.
Yes, sir, blankets, the whole campus.
So football fields, all of that stuff, so, okay.
Outside equipment.
It'll show exactly where they're at,
Yes, sir, that's correct.
okay.
Every employee in the school building will have one of these, from the janitors to the.
We estimated 500, start with, I think, what we proposed to work on.
And we
And-
also supply extras. Some school districts choose to give these substitute teachers, so they have them as well. Generally, they just swap a badge for their keys or something, so you make sure you use the badge back. But even if somebody loses a badge or someone runs off with one, it's a slide of on the keyboard, on the computer, it's just a slide of a button to deactivate it, and you can reactivate it inside of, when you get it back.
How much does those cost, those badges?
Those run about, I wanna say if you buy them in bulk, they're somewhere around $15 a piece, but if you buy them individually, like 20 bucks a piece. Some school districts, I think I know what you think, you may not be, but, some school districts say, if you lose one, get one free, and then after that, you have to pay for them if you lose them. Some districts just said, no, if you lose it, you gotta pay the money to get it, you're required to. So that would, again, be up to you as to what your protocol would be.
Does this amount of your bid covers 3 years, covers everything, setting up the badges and the monitoring fee for the 3 years?
Everything, all the equipment, training, monitor for, corporate office in Atlanta. We know, it all runs on batteries, that's another thing. So it's not, we're not pulling wires, we're not disrupting your school day. When they come in to do the installs, they'll come in the afternoon, generally, maybe 4 o'clock, once the school's shutting down. We need someone who has access to the building so they can let us in and kind of walk and talk us through what things are. So we'll have it plotted already, our install team will have it plotted as to where they think the equipment will go. They'll come in and install it, and then they'll do tests on it to make sure we don't have any dead spots. And then if they do, they'll add more equipment to make sure those are covered.
How long does the badges last, the batteries?
The batteries on all the equipment last 3 to 5 years, but we guarantee it. So if the battery starts going down, we'll know it before you do. And we will call and say, hey, we've got a battery going down at the middle school in this area. But it's also the system, best way I can describe it, self-healing, so that if you do have one that goes down, the other equipment will pick it up and know that it's weak or know that it's out. And so your system's not gonna go down.
Okay.
Any more questions? Let's have a roll call on this.
If-
Mr. Jones? Yes.
I'm sorry, if we do this, I think we do need to require our teachers to wear them around their necks, not stick
I
them in
think
their
it needs to
pockets.
be, I was gonna suggest that we make it a board policy once we get them up and going. Also, Barry, you correct me wrong, we don't want a teacher to feel threatened if they lose one. It's more important that they have one on them, is a big thing. So I would suggest too, you can lose one and, we don't, that's the key. We want them on them just like we require them to have their badges, but I think it needs to be just like, we had teachers complain, I'm not gonna lie, when we done the board policy to have doors shut and locked at all times. I had that done 20-something years ago at the board I had at the time as a principal. But now, we're ahead of Homeland Security, they'll fine us if they're not. So I think, I don't think that's too much to ask for their safety and the safety of a young man or woman that we're taking care of, that require them to have that on.
I think they should have it around their necks
At all
the
times.
entire time.
They're on school.
And if they happen to, and I'll say this, I've said about the substitute teachers, if the teacher, and I've done this, I've run off from home, going to school, and forget something, leave there, that happens to be their badge, just report it. Don't think, oh, I'm gonna get in trouble, make it so that they feel comfortable and safe and go to all.
That's a question I have. Is there such a thing we could have, we do that with radios, we try to keep a couple spares charged. Did we have a couple of spares so that we had, Norma forgot hers and she could pick that one up today and
Spares at every school or central office, and again, to just go into the computer system, deactivate the one that was left at home, assign a new one. You do it through a QR code, I don't know if that's the badge, but it has a QR code. So we give every school a QR code reader, and it scans it in, and so it's 20 seconds to load it and unload it.
So my question is, what if I've been in the classroom, what if a teacher for some reason has to lay it down for a second, a student gets it?
around their neck, they shouldn't let it.
Right.
There you go.
That's why I'm just asking, you know, what if, for some reason, a student gets it in their hand?
But it'd be just like I'm getting on your radio, you
Okay.
could narrow it down pretty quick.
Okay.
It had to be who was up at my desk and,
Just take care of
yeah,
it.
it needs to be
That-
yours, just like.
That would be a disciplinary issue.
We always get that question, and honestly, we track all the alerts and what they are, and you'll have to do that as well, because you'll put in, you'll have to close an alert, and if it happens to be a false alarm, you just put that in as a false alarm. If it's a test, you put that in as a test. You can put it in as somebody accidentally did it. We don't get it, very few of them do get, very few of those that someone accidentally did.
Anything else? Not. Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McCaleb?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes,
Myself, yes.
and thank you for the hard work on that grant money.
I was so excited when we got it.
We've got a lot of great, we were really excited with the competition. We had to get this one on.
You know, a lot of our grants just fall into the E-Plan portal. This one I had to go out and seek and apply for, and like I say, lots of competition. So that's what made this one so special.
It wasn't 14 out of 95 counties, it was 14 out of
Tennessee,
100.
and it was all across the United States.
Yeah, it's in there, how many, probably thousands.
Yeah.
We were one of the
Yeah, so,
14 that got it.
And I want to thank you for getting these people together, like Miss Norma, different ones writing these grants, because it's not costing us anything. You know, everybody's saying, well, you spent money for this, or you spent money for that. 99% of the time, it didn't cost us nothing. I mean, school board system does a good job writing these grants. Now, they do, because if you'll listen to everything we've done tonight, just about everything we've done has been done with grant money, that anybody can get it if they want to write a grant, unless they're lazy and don't want to. You know, that's what it amounts to, you know.
There's a lot to writing a grant.
And there's a lot to writing grants, and we've got some good people that know how to
Just
write them.
ask for it. You're gonna get reasons why you need it, how they're gonna benefit you.
Right, right. But now, there's a lot of money out there to be got. If people will just sit down and use their head and write them. So, and we've got a good bunch of people doing that. Okay, next thing on the agenda is our bid approval for fuel. And I think the low bid this month was Kimbrough Oil for 1,500 gallons of regular unleaded, at 2.4410. Do I have a motion?
Motion approved. Second.
Mr. Jones, Mr. Apple, do I have any discussion?
Is this something that we want to keep local, or where's Kimbrough located out of?
Nashville.
We're just bidding it. I mean, it has to be put out to bid regardless. I
It
mean,
has to be put out to bid, but we don't have to accept the bid, correct?
no, we don't, but, you know, everybody looks at the dollar. And everybody wants to get the cheapest we can regardless where it is. And they look at us to manage the money like it needs to be managed, so. And that's what we try to go with, so. Any more discussion? Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mr. McCaleb?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Mr. Manning?
Yes.
Mr. Glover?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Any more discussions on anything? Hope you've had a chance to look at your annual policy review for December. Questions on it? If not, Mr. Winkler, do we need to go into executive session? Okay, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?